Alright, welcome to my weekly self-important Magic the Gathering show. This is the second part of the Stanley the Hedgehog set. Last time we just did the two main Hedgehogs, Sanic and Shadow. This time, boy, I guess we're going to go do Knuckles, then Amy, then Robotnik. So Knuckles is mono red. Get that out of the way. Oh, we lost a land. Let's go grab that really quick before we go over the deck. Nykthos took itself out of the deck. Always be careful with your decks on Architect, I guess. So, Knuckles the Echidna, we mentioned him last week, but we'll go over him again. 2 and 2 red for a 2/4 Echidna warrior. He's probably the only... There's 3 Hedgehogs in the games that I know of, and 1 Echidna. Mildly interesting piece of trivia. Not counting all the things with Changeling, thank you very much. Or anything that can choose a creature type, because it's a shapeshifter. Anyway, double strike, trample, haste. Whenever one or more creatures you control do combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. And during your upkeep, if you control 30 more artifacts, you win a game. That ain't gonna happen. Then we have Knuckles stuff, the unexpected windfall. Then we have our 37 lands, but I want to move this up here and just call it Nux. There. So we have the Arena Glory that gives haste, which we probably don't need. We don't need it for our commander. Did I put it in? See, now I got to look at last week's decks, because both of these had red in them. Not in Sonic's. And not in Shadow's. Good, because they aren't necessary in either of those. In this one, since our commander doesn't care about haste, we're probably not going to worry about haste on our creatures. So we have Arena of Glory to give haste, Castle and Breath, which can give all of our creatures +1/+0 until end of turn at the cost of 4 total mana, because this is a land. And then we have the red planet from Edge of Eternities that if we put 12 power on it, we can. It's 3 mana plus sacrifice land, so still technically, well, we can sacrifice one of the ones that we tapped, but create a 2/2 colorless robot. Then get then all of our control creatures get +1/+0 and haste until end of turn. Master Emerald Shrine. We certainly don't need Command Tower in this deck, but you know, it's Knuckles. He's around the Master Emerald Shrine all the time. Then this mountain, 30 of them. Myriad Landscape to 8 taps for colorless, but we can also pay 2, sacrifice, and grab 2 mountains out of our deck. Nykthos that creates mana based on our devotion. And Valakut that can deal damage if we have a bunch of at least 5 other mountains, so 6. Whenever we play our 6th or mountain or after, it can lightning bolt, so that's neat. And then we have both the Air Shoes and the Power Sneakers and the Pico Pico Hammer and the Super State and the Chaos Emerald and the Soul Ring and the Egg Hammer, because I felt like it. Putting as many pieces of the other stuff in here as possible. Especially since for 7 we get 5 artifacts. Let's finish off our ramp. We probably want artifact. I mean, we want artifact-based ramp, but we also want treasure-based ramp, I think. But let's go. MV equals 2 T artifact art. Actually, no. Let's O add. We'll just do this, and then we'll just get the art. So the gauntlet again. And well, honestly, like if I had to do an extra bit of stretch, it's because the Infinity Stones are, you know, also like Chaos Emeralds in a way. And I like this version because it comes in a non foil, and that just looks better online. Then Lady Coldsteel Heart. I just like the waifu version. I don't know who she is, but I would give her hugs. The Fire Diamond, of course. We'll just use this version. I think I did that with all of them. Felwar Stone, on the off chance someone else is playing red, but we're going to do that version, because if I were to go through this, I do believe it's just that, and then there's the game ball, and then there's whatever's going on here, and then there's this rock. I mean, we could do this version because, honestly, Knuckles kind of reminds me of a footballer anyway. And let's see, I don't think this is going to be another one for a while. The Liquid Metal Torque is mildly funny because we could cheat ourselves. If we have 19, we can cheat ourselves the 20th or 29th. If we have 29, we can cheat the 30th. But we're not going to do that. That's silly. Mind Stone. Breaking robots. That's kind of a thing you do in Sonic the Hedgehog. The sword in his stone, but let's see, what's the one? Oh yeah, we decided to use this one. And then we're also going to use the treasure map, since we make treasures. So this one. Oh, there's a button. So that puts us at 55. So, wow, that's only 10 pieces of ramp. That's mildly interesting. Technically, I'm an 11th piece of ramp. And the Nux is the 12th piece of ramp. Knuckles and his Knuckles. And then Unexpected Windfall creates his treasure. So we're kind of fine. But anyway, whoops. Idol of... Oh, there's no the in it. Idol of Oblivion for card draw, since we're likely to create tokens on our turns. I like, again, I say it a lot, but I like that version. And then whoops, Tome of Legs, the Tome of Legends, because we're probably, since he has haste, trample, and double strike, good lord, he is set. We want the Tome of Legends. Then there's Endless Atlas, because we're in a mono color, so we're going to have 3 lands with the same name. Professional Facebreaker, but I want to put... They put them in ramp, but I want them in card draw. And we're going to do the one, use the one from Final Fantasy. Oh, that does remind me of a couple of things we didn't put in the Chaos Control deck last week. There's the guy that makes treasures when one of our things die, and the one that draws a card once a turn. But I think we're fine the way we are, because I like having these recursion pieces, even though one of them, it recurs itself, and that's silly. Yeah, I think we're fine. Let's see. Other things that make treasure. Oh, I think I want... So we're going to go T equipment. We're doing this stuff again. O Hexy P or O Indistra or O blocked. Oh look, Knuckles the Assassin, Knuckles the Dark Steel Plate Wearer, Knuckles the Champion Helm Wearer. Oh, that reminds me of something that didn't make it into someone else's deck, and we'll get to it when we get to her, because she's next. I did something very silly with her deck, because that's what I felt like doing. We're not doing Cauldra, but we'll do Psychic Paper, Mithril Coat, Mirror Shield, Shadow Spear. We got the boots. And the cloak. There we go. And then before we check versions, we're just going to move Whisper Silk Cloak to Evasion, because that's where I prefer it. Make that that. Mirror Shield doesn't have any other versions. I do feel like this is more of a Sonic the Hedgehog feeling thing. I can't put my finger on it, but I don't know, something about that. Then the plate. Just have Cloud. The coat. There we go with all that. Now these ones will go up here. Psychic Paper doesn't have any other versions. And this is just messing with the border. So we close that. Man, I'd still like more draw, of course. Technically we have one piece of draw over here, but only draws once. Technically we only have 9 pieces of ramp over here, because the Chaos Emerald's only usable once, and we're not exactly bringing it back out of the graveyard. Okay, let's do our limited removal. So that's Vandal Blast. Only we get to have artifacts. So we go over here. Is there a preferred printing button? Not that I can tell. Anyway, the Mizium Mortars. Good old Vandy B. And of course, cameo by Deadpool. There we go. 4 out of 6 pieces of mass disruption, I guess. There's one thing I want to look at. 20. Whoops. Oh. Oh, yeah, of course we want the Ancient Copper Dragon. And we'll do this version. Like, it's... I don't know if I paused on this long enough, but this is an expensive card. I like that the Final Fantasy version is the cheapest, the video game version. The most expensive version is my other favorite, or was my favorite until this one came out. Let's see. Oh, we do kind of want Delina Wild Mage. Except that it's not legendary. I forgot about that part, but that makes it her inclusion in other decks even funnier and better. There was a dragon, a different dragon. Okay, so let's type out 20. 20. Hellkite Tyrant. Okay, so it does a theft thing that I'm not a fan of because it steals all of their artifacts. Ooh, but there's this sweet art. But it does the silly win the game if you control X number of artifacts, but faster than 10. It's 10 artifacts faster than Knuckles. So that's the only reason. We'll just not attack with the Hellkite Tyrant, or see if our opponents are cool with it. You know, either way. Is it Mysterious Mime? Yes. Roaming Throne. Roaming Throne, whole job, make more treasures. Don't even care. And then that Zorn thing went into ramp, but I'm going to move it over here to copy just because that feels appropriate. Oh, that's... I never really bothered to look at this picture. That Zorn is eating treasure, I think. Ooh. You know, $11 for this, even though it's a foil. Just fixing how I'm sitting again, you know me. I also like that I'm adding creatures that do stuff. Like, we're at 8 already. That makes me feel good. We're at 77. Oh, I'm gonna grab those instant order CMCO permanent. Oh, that was a Heavily unpleasant belch. The most recent Chaos Warp doesn't look like Chaos Warp to me, so. And then Guthrie White's history. And then one more, transforming flourish, which yep, there we go. I think that was it, right? I could have like a more things that destroy artifacts, like smelt. Destroy. Like we have crush. What else is in here? Raise the effigy at least can make my creature slightly stronger. So this is. I do like the black and white. It's one of the few ones that they did for the double feature that I feel turned out pretty neat. Because like it's supposed to be kind of dark and hard to see. Although it makes the fire interesting because it's not like illuminating anything. Then we'll, because then we can also throw in a smelt. Just well that it only got printed a couple of times. And then we are gonna put in crush. There's a one that's only artifact creatures. I'll see if I can point it out. Hearth Charm destroys artifact creature. Or all attacking creatures get +1/+1 tone of turn. Or target creature with power 2 or less is unblockable this turn. I feel like Crush gets rid of more problems than Hearth Charm, if I'm being honest. And then Smelt can get creatures or non-creatures. So now we have 17 more spots left. I'm going to look at EDH Rec, but I doubt I'm going to use much from EDH Rec. Oh, mana from... Let's see. Oh, they're in back again. Yeah. Because if it gets to the third one, we get that Smaug. They had to have made this a game changer, right? It is not a game changer. It's a mean card, and we're in mono red, so we're going to use it. Honestly, it should be a game changer, in my opinion. Mostly because I don't think it should, this effect should be in bracket 2. But like there is a discussion to be had on that. Which is, again, while you try to have non-basic lands in your deck, This only punishes greedy land bases, so it only punishes maybe 3 colors or more. Your 3-color deck should still have 9 basics in it. Let's go to creatures. Oh, Goldspan Dragon, Dur. Oh, this one. Oh, that's Dungeons and Dragons box art, Dur. I should know what that is. Academy Manufactor is hilarious. You know, get those clues and those foods. Ragavan. Oh, Cavern Horde Dragon. It costs 7, but that's still, like, interesting if we can get to it, because you create a treasure token for... It costs X less to cast, where X is the greatest number of artifacts an opponent controls and has flying, trample, and haste. That's wild. And then when it deals damage to a player, you create a number of treasure tokens equal to the number of artifacts that they control. So that's just wild. Magda Brazen Outlaw gives us something to do with our treasures, but we do kind of want to have a number. Is moving one of my legs. Let's see. That goads with our treasures. This can tutor up dragons and equipment. Oh no, any artifact. That's mildly more interesting. I don't know how many good artifacts we're going to put in this deck. Oh, Solemn Simulacrum, of course. This one. This gives us Thopters when we make other types. Oh, Crime Novelist is good. Whenever you sacrifice an artifact, put a +1/+1 counter on Crime Novelist and add red. So that is all kinds of good things with our treasure tokens. We could do the extra attacks with Karlach. Yeah, let's get our extra attacks with Karlach. And then we're at 91. We have room for 9 more things. And I want at least like 6 creatures. Let's try to get more ways to draw cards. Or impulse draw. So let's go over here. T. Permanent. O. Exile the top. Is. Okay, we want excuse me. The heads up. Gross. Anyway, so we want repeatable. Like, this is top 2, and if we get 2 lands, that kind of stinks, and I don't like it. I also want it to be very controlled. Chandra dressed to kill can ramp us, but it can also exile the top card of our library. This 7 thing is nonsense. I'm not even going to read it. But as long as it's not a land, we can cast it this turn. So that's the thing we got to be careful of. But where is it? Yes, this version will do that. It's also relatively inexpensive, and again, it's repeatable. It's once a turn. We're not worried about any of those. We want it repeatable, but also something that we have to activate. That second part is probably the most important part. Like, see, we don't want upkeep. We don't want whenever you do a thing. Hedron Detonator sacrifices 2 artifacts. That's not cool. What do you do? That's the top 2 cards of your library, but choose one of them. No. Okay, I like Sword of Forge and Frontier, even though it does the combat damage thing, but it lets you play additional lands this turn. So if you know you're going to attack, don't play any lands. Attack with this, and then if you get 2 lands, you can play them. Although having protection from red might not be in our best interest. I'm not entirely sure. They really don't give you long enough. Yasmin Khan can tap to do it. So there we go with that. And we can have 7 more cards. Now we're just going to put the word draw. That's going to be funny. But at least it has to be a permanent. Although a lot of this is discard a card first. Okay, so it's going to be a lot of rummaging. Okay, this is interesting. Whenever Acolyte Hybrid attacks, destroy up to 1 target artifact. If an artifact is destroyed this way, its controller draws a card. I think I want to put that in this deck because we can destroy our own treasures to draw a card, which is kind of a thing we would be doing with the Professional Facebreaker anyway. Which is funny. For a long time, I was avoiding these 40k cards because I kind of like them as their own entity. But as time goes on, I'll slip them into decks every now and then. They're not my favorite thing to add because I would, if I was buying, if I had the money when it came out, I would have bought all 4 of them and just never upgraded them. want to say the same thing for the Doctor Who decks, but that's not true. I would definitely mess with them a lot. I would probably bought them multiple times just to get, like, if I had that kind of money, I would have bought each one 4 times just to kind of get a lot of copies of each of the card and just mix them up. Oh, Blood Sun. When it enters the battlefield, you draw a card, and also all lanes lose all abilities except mana abilities. That messes with us a tiny bit. But then again, so does Blood Moon. Not a game changer. And it messes with non-basic lands a lot less. Oh, Bust a Sword. It draws a card and casts a spell for free. I've been putting that into decks and a lot, and I still forgot about it. It's not a creature, but that's fine. Ooh, I know she costs 4, but you can create this silly vehicle. And then we have this aspirational emblem. But then we can also sacrifice an artifact or discard a card to draw a card. And the funny thing is that I legitimately wish that this had a full art version, because it's the Akira pose. But we'll do this. I think we'll skip Charming Scoundrel for once, just to be slightly different than the two other decks that we've shown off that have red in them before. Oh, I'm in alphabetical order, not in mana value. That catches me off guard whenever I forget to do that. Beep-beep-beedly-bop. Dragon's Horde? Oh, that's for dragons. I was hoping that it would do something else to put counters on it, but that's fine. Holy moly. I just realized how not close to done we are with this section. I think I should go back to the top before I click that button and go sacrifice. Oh well, we can sacrifice land. We can't play lands, but we can sacrifice land to draw 2 cards. That's mildly interesting. This is a once a turn effect. Although I guess it being a once a turn effect is fine, but it also not a fan of it, since other versions of that don't have a mana cost on top of it. On a lot of this, are going to have sacrifice this artifact, huh? discard up to 2 cards. Yeah, okay. We caught up to F a lot quicker, though, I notice. There's Idol of Oblivion. Could be a jerk and put in Magus of the Moon as well. Man, Red Herring's just a funny card. Oh, what's funny? What else is funny? Is that there was a card I was thinking of putting in here, but it... oh, hey, 2 cards took themselves out. Let's fix that. Add remove cards. Oh, well, the Summon Espers took them out. Oh, Ash Party Crasher took itself out. Add back to deck. And Talisman of Creativity took itself out. Add back to deck. That makes me gotta look at my lands. Nope, 37. It's just weird sometimes. But there is one piece of equipment that's funny in this deck. It is T Equip T Vehicle. I don't think it's a very good card. It's just funny that it triggers both. It can auto equip to Amy and also become a flying creature with tails, but it has flying, but it does not convey flying as a piece of equipment. I actually, and also it's a pair of rollerblades. So I am going to take something out for this. So we're at 101. Honestly, I think we're going to take out the Thundersteel Colossus, even though it's probably the biggest thing in the deck. Not counting something getting superstated. Sure, call that pump. I don't care. Yeah. I made the deck less good, but I made it funnier. And that's what's important to me. Oh, where did the treasure map go? That is technically a card draw. Did that go in ramp? Yes, it did. There we go. 7 pieces of card draw. That makes... But we are also, well, down to 16 pieces of ramp. Although, let's be honest, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. The only thing that's ramp is Solemn Simulacrum up. And like the things that are 3 are borderline. And the Chaos Emerald is barely ramp. The Chaos Emerald is less ramp than Unexpected Windfall. Anyway. Oh, Trading Post. Pay 1, sacrifice an artifact, draw a card. That is at least worth considering. Even though, again, on the other things that we have doing it, the sacrificing of an artifact is free. So we have 3 more spots. So we're going to keep is permanent. And then sacrifice a treasure. Did I spell that correct? T-R-E-A. Missed the S. Sacrifice a treasure. Huh. There's 3 things that sacrifice a treasure specifically, or 4 things. We have Captain Lannery Storm, and she creates a treasure when we attack. Let's do that, and let's have it be Vaughn again. And then this thing goads a thing, so that's not important. Everything else gets to go in. And then mana from a treasure. So we have Reign of Riches. That'll give us Cascade. Well, it also creates 2 treasures, so it technically only costs 3. Okay, that'll be the last one. Oh wait, are we at 99 actually? Yeah, we're at 99. I'm gonna go down to here just in case. We already fixed that. So we have room for one more thing. How many creatures do we have? 17. Never enough. I know exactly which one it is. Magus of the Jerk. Magus of the Moon is Blood Moon on a creature. And, ooh man, these are... This is the special guest, Magus of the Moon. Oh, this is the newest one. This is from Edge of Eternities, and this is from a special guest based on this is either has to do with Fallout or Duskmourn, and I think we're gonna go with, man, I just like this one better. So that's that. That actually didn't go horrible for what it's worth. Oh, this thing goes into draw. 8 pieces of draw. You know we're bad at drawing cards. And by we mean me. Oh, she there. That's right there. 3 stacks pieces because we're mono red. Yeah, sure. Why not? That's that. So it's hammer time. So we'll go through the cards and then we'll pick up the ones that I feel like I missed. So we have Amy Rose, 2 red, white for a 3/3 Hedgehog warrior. She has haste, and whenever she attacks, you can attach an equipment to her. And then another creature that is also attacking gets +X/+0 until a turn where X is her power. Then we have Hammer of Porphyros that gives all of our creatures haste. And then we can also pay a lot of mana, sacrifice a land, and make a golem. Probably never going to do that, just for the record. Then we have Slab Hammer, an equipment that says whenever equipped creature attacks, you may return a land you control to its owner's hand. If you do, it gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Mildly interesting. Volcanic Hammer deals 3 damage to target creature or player as sorcery speed. This is honestly an awful Magic card, and it was awful when it was first printed. Although I think it was first printed in Portal, which didn't have instants. But it's still awful. Then we have Imodane, the Pyro Hammer. Whenever an instant or sorcery spell you control that targets only a single creature deals damage to that creature, Imodain deals that much damage to each opponent. Then we have Mjolnir, Stormhammer. When Mjolnir enters the battlefield, attach it to target legendary creature you control. Amy Rose is worthy of Mjolnir. Whenever equipped creature attacks, tap target creature defending player controls and put a stun counter on it. Then Mjolnir deals damage to each opponent equal to the number of attack creatures that opponent controls. That's neat and largely irrelevant. Then we have Toralf, God of Fury, the not important side, because we have Toralf's Hammer. Equipped creature has pay 1 in a red to tap unattached Toralf's Hammer. It deals 3 damage to any target. Return Toralf's Hammer to its owner's hand. Equipped creature gets +3/+0 as long as it's legendary. Then we have Hammer Dropper. It has Mentor, and it's a 5/2, so when it attacks, it puts a +1/+1 counter on an attacking creature that has less power. Then we have the Strength Testing Hammer. Whenever equipped creature attacks, roll a 6-sided die. That creature gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is the result. Then if it has the greatest power or is tied for greatest among all creatures on the battlefield, you draw a card. Hammer Hand. It's an aura. When Hammer Hand enters the battlefield, a target creature can't block this turn. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has haste. Doesn't need to go on Amy. Forge Hammer Centurion. Whenever another creature or artifact you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, put an oil counter on Forge Hammer and Centurion. Whenever Forge Hammer and Centurion attacks, you may remove 2 oil counters from it. If you do, target creature can't block this turn. Territorial Hammer Skull. Whenever Territorial Hammer Skull attacks, tap target... Oh, hey, look, that actually goes with Mjolnir. Tap target creature and opponent controls. Neat. Then we have Super State, of course. Then we have Knuckles Gloves. +1/+1, trample, and whenever it deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, you get that many treasure. Then we have Knuckles, because he's in every deck that has red for this particular series, for all the Sonics, for all the Sanics. Same with Unexpected Windfall. He shows up everywhere. Then we have our lands. Oh. Hammerheim, the home of hammers. It's a legendary land. It's only $16 and it comes all the way from Legends. I'd probably still proxy it rather than trying to find it. And then it says remove all land walking ability from target creature until end of turn. Probably not relevant, but it has hammer in the name, and I think you've figured out the direction I went with this deck. Master Emerald Shine, and yeah, that's right. This is the planes I should be using, not the 7th Heaven one, but whatever. Then we have Gal Moraz, the Great Shatterer, aka Loxodon Warhammer. Equipped creature gets +3/+0 and has trample and lifelink. Neat. Then, of course, we have both Air Shoes and Power Sneakers, and the Pico Pico Hammer, the Hammer of Nizan. That gives us free equips. Then we have Gaia's Dark Hammer for Colossus Hammer. I did this one because it's a lady with a hammer, and I feel like that resonates with Amy. Then we have a Jackhammer. Ha ha ha. Then we have... Oh, and yeah, that just gives +2/+0. Then we have Dwarven Hammer. When it enters, we can pay 2 generic to get a dwarf to attach it to them. And then equipped creature has +3/+0 and trample. Chaos Emerald, Soul Ring. Barunor Battle Hammer. Each creature you control gets +2/+0 for each equipment attached to it, and then you get a free equip on each of your turns. Koth the Hammer, doing a Hadouken. +1, a tap target mountain becomes a 4/4 red elemental creature until end of turn. It's still a land. That's dangerous, but it's technically ramp. but you can also -2 to add red for each mountain you control. And then theoretically, we'll get this emblem that says mountains you control have tap. This land deals 1 damage to any target. Then we have the Deconstruction Hammer. The equipped creature has +1/+1 and 3 taps. Sacrifice the hammer to destroy an artifact or enchantment. It's also 1 to cast, 1 to equip. That's cheap. Fall of the Hammer. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to another target creature. This is I think the only red fight spell. Then we have the Hammer Mage. It's a spell shaper. I think I've mentioned this, I forget in what episode, but I think it was in one of the 32, that I like the spell shapers, they're just not good, usually. So it's X and red, tap, discard a card from your hand, destroy all artifacts with converted mana cost X or less. So this gets all of our artifacts, so that stings. But we can pay 0 to get rid of all the treasures. Because it doesn't say X can't be 0. Unless there's an errata. Nope. So we can destroy all treasures just by tapping him and discarding a card. Hammer of Ruin. Equipped creature gets +2/+0, and whenever a equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you may destroy target equipment that player controls. That seems spiteful. Shatter Skull Smashing, which is actually just Shatter Skull the Hammer Pass, which is just a tap land. Unless we let it lightning bolt us. Then we have Generous Gift with the I don't know. It's just an elephant as far as I know, but it's the Sonic one. Anyway, Hammer of Bogarden. So 4/3 it deals 3 damage to any target at sorcery speed, so it is also terrible. But you can pay 5 to bring it back to your hand during your upkeep if it's in your graveyard. Then we have Hammerheim Deadeye. Oh. This is actually a creature from Hammerheim, that land. When Hammerheim Deadeye enters the battlefield, destroy target creature with flying. And then it has Echo, so you have to pay 3 to bring it in, or 4 to bring it into play, but another 6 to keep it. That ain't happening. So you're just paying 4 to destroy a thing with flying. That's all there is to it. Hammerfist Giant. Tap, and it deals 4 damage to each creature without flying and each player. Hammers of Moradin. Has Myriad, so when you attack one player, it attacks the other players as well. When it attacks, which only counts this one, because they're the ones that enter attacking, so they don't get the trigger. But for each opponent, tap up to 1 target creature that player controls. Oh, hey, that goes with Mjolnir as well. Neat. This is the Egg Hammer, but that's the Mirror Battlesphere. I don't think I've said what this does. When it enters, you get 4 1/1 colorless mirror artifact creature tokens, and when it attacks, you can tap any number of untapped mirror control to give this thing +X/+0 until end of turn, and deals that much damage to the player or planeswalker it's attacking. Then open the armory because it's Amy Rose. Whew. Okay. Wow. I think I'm going to do new category. Hammer. Ding. There. Then the Hammer of Perforos is a hammer. Strength testing hammer is a hammer. This is also a hammer. Pico Pico hammer. Dwarven hammer. Jackhammer. Gaia's hammer. That's their name, right? Yeah, Gaia. Okay, this is going into hammer because it's the other side. Mjolnir. category. Hammer Man. That was a cartoon based on MC Hammer. Just for the record on that one. Even though that is a dinosaur. And also some of these might be ladies. Oh, this is an enchantment. I don't know how to deal with that. Let's see. Caught the Hammer is Hammer Man. As is Brunor Battle Hammer. This is a hammer. This is going to go in a section over here that I will rename at some point. Hammer Man. Hammer. This is Hammer Place. Hammer Man. There's also Hammer Man. Hammer Man. We're just being silly. This goes into here. Is there any... What's great about Hammerheim is that it's a silly card for the deck, but it also doesn't come into play tapped, and it still taps for red. That's awesome. Oh, actually, so this, and then this. Is there anything else that would get moved? Oh, we're going to call this section Grab the Hammer. Grab the Hammer. There we go. And we're going to call this, even though Drop the Hammer doesn't go in here, although isn't it called, it's called Fall the Hammer anyway. So, but this is going to be metaphorical hammers. Actually, technically, they're metaphysical hammers, aren't they? Some of them are metaphorical, some of them are metaphysical. Whatever. And then the rest of them can be the same. We're at 76. How many creatures do we have? Probably not a lot. We actually managed to get to 12 creatures. They're just, you know, not very good. So, let's go over here. Art. Hammer. Let's see what kind of things we missed and see if there's anything that actually goes with our deck. Oh yeah, there's someone with a hammer over here, but that don't count. This guy has a hammer. Oh, and Amy Rose is a warrior, so that counts, but she gives benefits for having more than one attacking creature, so that ain't happening. There's a hammer in here over there that is not good enough. Anger of the Gods deals damage to each creature and exiles anything that will go away. Oh yeah, this is very like Thor being mad at everybody. Oh, Anvil of Bogarden, but it's the anvil, not the hammer. Asgard Armory, an expensive way to get equipment out of our deck. There's a hammer right there. Oh, there's a hammer in this printing of Black Vice. Brothers of Fire, of course, because they're blacksmiths. Battlefield Scavenger is holding a hammer. Cataclysmic Gearhulk has a hammer. I guess that's a hammer in City on Fire. Creepy Puppeteer. They have hammers. Neat. So Dead Iron Sledge. I'm going to see about other printings just out of curiosity. This is the thing that I saw when I was looking through that other deck that I was like, oh, I forgot this for this deck. Like the word sledge. Whenever a equipped creature blocks or becomes blocked by a creature, destroy that creature and equipped creature. That is wild and not very good, but I like it. Devilish LA, hand over your hammer. That's good. Demolish, destroy target artifact or land. It costs way too much and is a sorcery. Defiant Strike. Oh, yep, there's a hammer right there. I'm not requiring hammers to be in... Oh, she's holding a mallet. Oh, that's another word. Dwarfhold Champion. The Weaponsmith. Oh, sacrifice an artifact to put a +1/+1 counter on something during your upkeep. That's interesting. Flame Right, they're holding a hammer. Fires of Invention, yep, he's using a hammer. There's a hammer somewhere in this picture. Forge Armor, of course, there's going to be a hammer. Forge of Heroes, of course, there's going to be a hammer. Oh, Gavel of the Righteous. See, that's another type. That's another word. And that's what I'm more concerned about is the words, rather than the pictures. Got to scratch my back. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a charge counter on Gavel of the Righteous. Okay. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each counter on Gavel of the Righteous. As long as the Gavel of the Righteous has 4 more counters on it, equipped creature also gets double strike. And then to equip, you can either pay 3 or remove a counter from Gavel of the Righteous. I like this card. I do like the space version of this card, but we're going to use this version. Because that's kind of like Pico Pico Hammer shaped. I thought Gimli had an axe, not a hammer, but whatever. Oh, he's a Gavalier. I don't know. Oh, Scars of Mirrodin. Raiders, Spelunkers, Champion, Crusader. Things with hammer directly in the name. Something between there's a hammer in the art somewhere. Duh. I forgot what my search terms were. The Blacksmith, of course, the Ghost Forge, the Protege. I could put both of them. Just to kind of have them in the deck because one searches up the other one. Implement of Improvement. Sacrifice Improvement, you gain 2 life. When Improvement is put in a graveyard from the battlefield, you draw a card. That's a lot of work. Implement, and actually I think the thing in the center is the implement, not the hammers that they're giving them for some reason. Ingenious Smith, yep, I get it. Is she still attacking with a hammer in this version? Nope, she has an axe. Loxodon seem to like their hammers, so that's cool. Oh, maul. That's another word. I'm glad we're looking through this because there's a lot of words that I forgot that totally fit. Like maul, gavel, and sledge. Oh, Norn the Wary is holding a hammer. Oh, piston sledge. Let's see what this one's all about. Well, when piston sledge enters the battlefield, attach it to a creature you control. Nice. And then for future ones, we have to sacrifice an artifact. It's +3/+1. But Amy can get that for free. Never reprinted. Only 35 cents. Nice. Priest of Ancient Lore has a hammer. Oh, hey, there's the Proud Mentor. I think did they ever get interesting reprints? No? I am, even though he doesn't have a hammer, I just kind of just want them in the deck because I want them in the deck. This is a pure Neuron activation include. Oh, hey, look, there's a hammer on that. Anyway, Proud Mentor, there you are. Punishing Fire. Perforos has a hammer. Pyre Sledge Arsonist. Let's see. 1 in tap, Pyre Sledge Arsonist deals damage to extra target, where X is the number of permanents you sacrifice this turn. That's actually a really neat card. That could have gone into a bunch of other decks I made today. We'll pretend that we sacrifice permanents in this deck, and maybe we'll find a way to put permanents in this deck that we want to sacrifice. That's reinforcements. I think that's what that says. I'll tell you what. White is the worst color in for this old border, just because of the text at the top. Like, that should have been black text. Rocks Veteran, Blup, Scrap Welder, Shieldbreaker. Yep, Shieldbreaker, of course, would have a big blunt weapon. 7 Dwarves, the Anvil. I don't think I'm going to put any anvils in this deck, but if I still have a bunch of spots left, I'll at least look. Sigarda's Aid. Slow Bad, of course, has a big old hammer. That says Smelter. Stone Haven, that's what that says. Oh, hey, Steel Shaper's Gift. I do want to put that in this deck, especially this version. Nice. That is the right kind of hammer, too, I think. Oh, Shram, but I don't know how many... oh, Sun Forger is a... oh, I have not put any... any removal spells in here besides the one from Amy's thing. What is that? Ravnica? Ravnica City of Guilds. Yeah, sure. Sunforger. It's a hammer. We're near the end, and then we'll have to put in like other cards. She has a hammer. I just like the idea of an angel artificer. Okay, I am... So, Sledge. Anything else have the word sledge in their name? Oh, Kamal's Sledge. What does this ridiculously expensive spell do? It deals 4 damage to target creature. But if you have Threshold, it deals 4 damage to that creature, and then 4 damage to the controller. Only worth it if you have the full thing, but that's fine. Gavel. So Gavel the Righteous and Gavelineers. Okay. Maul. Oh, her name is Maul. We're probably not going to be Mauler doesn't count. I don't think... yeah. Maul Fist. I don't think that counts either. Yeah, I'm not... But we'll... Godo's Maul does. Although, you know what? You go in. I don't like it. I don't like this nonsense that we're not doing anything else with energy, but this thing can make something not able to block like a grand total of twice. But Maul Horn? Well, it attacks every turn unless we have Advocate of the Beast, which we're not putting in the deck. I'm going to take this out to see if it got reprinted into a set that doesn't. Nope. Huh. Only ever printed in Magic 14. That's mildly interesting. And then Ambergristo Maul? Sure, why not? Does she... Oh, she has a mace. In that one. But her name is Maul. Her name is Maul. That's good enough. That makes me laugh. So Hammerman. I think that's more of a metaphorical hammer, but that's where I put all of the... But I think I will change that to Hammer Animal. There. Which is basically just these two things. And then where's our other... You are a Hammer Man. You are a Hammer Man. Oh, whoops, something got... Hammerfist Giant got put in the wrong spot, but that's a thing that happens sometimes. You are a hammer. You are a hammer. Oh, and a sack outlet. That's interesting. Actually, that's really good for weapons manufacturing. This is... I'm going to rename this to Metaphysical Hammer. But with a dash. And then hammer. And this goes in, grab the hammer, which I think should be is, yep, right there. Cavalier, Hammer Mage, Centurion, Hammers, Pyre Sledge, Amber, Brunor, Hammer Dropper, Deadeye. Technically he just lives there, but whatever. Pyro Hammer, Caught the Hammer, Doorbuster, Hammerfist Giant, Egg Hammer. Yep, okay, no, all that's good. Also didn't do a whole lot with ramp. That's funny. Well, Knuckles can give us treasures that we can sacrifice for whoever it was. Was it the Doorburster? No. It was Pyre Sledge? Yeah, the Pyre Sledge. There we go. It's weak, but it's there. And we have 6 metaphysical hammers. Although that's actually... I do have removal, it's just a lot of bad removal. Sorry, I got a itch around my ear, so I had to get rid of that. This is technically a Hammerman, but Tag Team was another rap group. Oh, and you're a hammer. Hold on. Hammer! There we go. So I think what I am going to worry about, instead of anything else, are ramp. The last 9 things, I think, are going to be ramp pieces. I have 19 creatures, 20 including my commander. Hold on. My ear is still bothering me. I was trying to think of a like ham animal, but that just sounds weird in my head. For hammer animal. Hamanimal. There we go. That's silly. Hamanimal. Hamanimal. Part of me still wants to put in like the cheap removal, but no, let's go T artifact minus T creature MV equals 2 O add in the space so it doesn't give you the word additional. So arcane signet. There are no hammer arcane signets. Oh, that's an interesting secret layer, because I don't think that's Chatterfang, but that makes me feel like that's Chatterfang. And then there's Ring. Oh, that's from Dustmourne, that's weird. Oh, Bloomborough Commander, that's odd. Oh, this makes me think of a hammer, if I'm being honest. But it's not a hammer because of where its hand's going. But this is the arcane signet I want to use, even though it's 15 bucks. Again, proxy. What do we got? We'll do that. So that's like 2 out of 9. Lady Cold Steel Heart. The Fire Diamond. The Marble Diamond. The Mind Stone, because we break robots. We're very specifically not doing the Iron Crag because that's a sword, not a hammer. Talisman of Conviction. While bow ties are in fact cool, we're going to do this $10 one. grab a thought vessel. We're grabbing this one just to be different. Also, this feels like something Amy would say. Don't touch that, that's where I keep all my most terrible ideas. That feels appropriate. And then we're going to go back up and hang out next to Felwar Stone after I check to see how many cards are in this deck. 98. And then our ramp section is up to 9. That does make me feel better. Felwar Stone is in fact 99. She does not get the ball, but she does get a pickaxe. I know that's not a hammer. We have been betrayed. So one more. Actually, I don't even, other than the Iron Crag, I don't even think they're. Oh, there's Liquid Metal Torque, but we're not doing that. Oh, that. I guess we are going to do the Iron Crag. Although, actually, we're going to do the treasure map, even though it's like not guaranteed that we'll ever in the same game have the treasures, but we can always at least get the, because this thing gives us 3 treasures, so we can at least draw 3 cards with it. So that's 100. I just realized that if we go by types, we have 1, 2, 3. We have 9. Okay, we have 9 hits if we ever want to do the thing with. Oh, what's it called? Where is it? Sunforger. We have 9 hits for Sunforger because it says for a red or white instant card with converted mana cost 4 or less. Oh, 4 or less. So 9, 8. We have 8 hits for it. Sure, why not? Go back to categories. Let's see. That is a hammer. That is a hammer. I'm going to call this Become the Hammer. Become the hammer, drop the hammer, grab the hammer, hammer, hammer man, hamnimal, knuckles, ramp, tag team, metaphysical hammers, shoes, because that's what they are. Like, I could call this Buy the Hammer, but like whatever. We're not going that deep. But no, this deck is dumb as heck, but I don't hate it, and we also managed to get a decent number of creatures for what it's worth. That section could have gone a lot worse. I mean, the creatures are a lot of bad creatures. They're not good. This definitely feels like a bracket 1 deck. Even if it has two tutors in it. We're just going to type in hammer in all caps. We're not taking it off private yet because I have no idea when I'm going to publish this. close that, and now we have the Mean Bean Machine. That was a puzzle game for the Genesis. And I think it was... Well, it wasn't like exactly like Dr. Mario, because Dr. Mario had like 2 colors on the pills, and this was just 1 color beans. So I get, was it like Puyo Puyo, I guess, but with beans? I don't know. You go look up Mean Bean Machine. And this one has 101 cards, so something that got taken out put its way back in. Oh, and it was a land card. No, I think I had 38. So now I got to go through this and see if there's anything illegal in here. So now we got to go through here and go, okay, did I mess up, or did something put itself in after I took it out? So I removed, okay, so I removed both of these lands. Oh, but then I put them back in. Probably because I changed their nope, it looks like I just straight messed up. Well, that's mildly interesting. Well, while we look through this deck that was already put together, we'll look for something to take out. So we have all of these. I'm just kind of... Oh. What? Nope, never mind. Though that can take out. Okay, so let's just get to it. So it's Dr. Eggman, 2 and Grixis, makes sense to me, for a 3/6 because he's got the big butt, human scientist with flying. At the beginning of your instep, you draw a card. Sweet. He is, even when he's not the monarch, he's the monarch, because the monarch draws you a card at your instep. Each opponent faces a villainous choice. That player discards a card, which I know we don't like doing, but I wanted to make this deck anyway. Or you may put a construct, robot, or vehicle card from your hand onto the battlefield. So they either discard a card or we get free stuff. Then we have Blitzwing, Cruel Tormentor. He is a robot. He's also a vehicle on the back, but I think it doesn't really matter, but I think you have to put him face up with Robotnik. But you can also you can cast the front side for 6 and the back side for 4. So at the beginning of your end step, target opponent loses life equal to the life that they lost this turn. If no life was lost this way, Blitzwing turns into their plane form. And Blitzwing is another Seeker, I just remembered. I gotta remember that for another deck. He's a Conehead. At least I think he's a Conehead. This art doesn't tell us that. No, he's not. But he does turn into a plane. I don't know if being a plane makes you... Oh wait, isn't Blitzwing a triple changer? Because I think he turns into a tank as well. Yeah. Never mind. He's not in the Seeker group because he's this weird triple changer thing that's really cool. Anyway. And on the back is, at the beginning of combat on your turn, choose flying or indestructible. That represents either being a plane or being a tank. At random, though, so, like, he doesn't know what he's going to do. Whenever Blitzwing deals combat damage to a player, you turn him back into a robot. Now we have the Valeyard, who, when we get to Doctor Who, whenever that is, you know, whenever I upload Doctor Who, This is definitely a deck. And this is the thing that ticked me off about Dr. Robotnik here, is that he doesn't go in the Veil Yards deck because we don't have robots, constructs, and vehicles in that deck. So once your opponents figure that much out, they'll never discard another card. But if an opponent would face a villainous choice, they face that choice an additional time. While voting, you vote an additional time. There's no vote cards in this deck. Sorry, I'm still messing with my ear. Ugh. There we go. There was like excess earwax in there. Then we have Ishtotlo Rule, the 6 mana 1 that gives us that lets us blink a thing. Technically, yeah, it's a flicker, but since we're already at our end step, oh no, it is a blink because it comes right back. But then it also gives us a second end step. Deadly Dispute because it has shadow on it. You can't hear it, but I'm also cutting my fingernails. One of them to kind of get into my ear. Because I'd rather do that than do anything unsafe like use a Q-tip. Anyway, sacrifice an artifact or creature to draw 2 cards and create a treasure token. Good old Golbez, you might remember him from the Final Fantasy week. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield, you surveil one under your control. At the beginning of your end step, if you control 4 more artifacts, you can return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. And then if you control 8 or more, it deals each opponent loses life equal to the card's power. That's always neat. Ulthros, the Research Craft. Its station, but its starting station is 3, so you at least get that easily. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, draw a card and then put a charge counter on this spacecraft. I don't know if the Marvel episode went up yet, but this made it into a couple of those decks, at least one of them. Tony Stark at least had this space station. And then if you get up to 12, it's a flying 0/8 that it gets +1/+0 for each artifact you control. That is neat as heck. Then we have Cyclonus, the Saboteur. He was a Seeker, but this is his transformed by Ultron version. No, Ultron? No. Unicron, sorry. Wow, that was awful of me. It's funny is that his vehicle side is more expensive. But whenever Cyclonus deals combat damage to a player, it connives, which means you draw a card and then discard a card. But if you discard a non-land card, you can put a +1/+1 counter on Cyclonus. Then if his power is 5 or greater, he goes to his other side. And this has whenever Cyclonus deals combat damage to a player, you turn it back to its other side. If you do, you get another beginning phase, which I think we have to go to card info. Nope. Oh no, there we go. Beginning phase includes the untap, upkeep, and draw steps. So you get to untap all your stuff again. So before your second main phase, so after your combat phase, before your second main phase, you get to untap, upkeep, and draw, which is neat. Then we have Rose, Cutthroat Raider, which is a robot. First strike, raid at the end of combat on your turn. If you attacked, create a junk for each opponent you attacked. Junk is an artifact, I think it'll explain over here, that says tap, sacrifice the token, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn, activate only as a sorcery. And then whenever you sacrifice a junk, you get red mana. So that's neat. This probably should go into more decks. Then we have our good friend Starscream, the Power Hungry. Whenever you draw a card, if you're the Monarch, target opponent loses 2 life, and then one or more creatures deal combat damage to you, convert Starscream. So, Flying Menace Haste. Starscream, also a Seeker, leader of the Seekers. That's kind of like his not really a faction, but like it's his posse. Whenever Starscream deals combat damage to a player, if there's not a monarch, that player becomes the Monarch. That is funny as heck. And then whenever you become the Monarch, convert Starscream. Then we have our Knuckles Unexpected Windfall. Videlkin Archmage. Cast an artifact, draw a card. Hull Drifter, it's a vehicle that we draw 2 cards when it enters. Combustible Gearhulk, it's a construct that says when it enters, target opponent may have you draw 3 cards. If they don't, you mill 3 cards and they take damage equal to the total mana value of those cards. Thought Monitor is a construct that when it enters, you draw 2 and also has affinity for artifacts if you ever want to hard cast it. Then we have Slicer. That's the guy that that your opponents attack for you with. Cyberdrive Awakener, which when it enters until end of turn, all of your non-creature artifacts turn into 4/4s. They do not get haste, so if they came into the battlefield that turn, they don't get to attack. Then we have the Thundersteel Colossus. It's just a 7/7 trample haste that you can get out of the end of your turn. It's a vehicle, crew 2. Walking Skyscraper is a construct. That's an 8/8 that costs 1 less to cast for each modified creature you control, and then it has hexproof as long as it's untapped. Darksteel Colossus. We do this instead of Optimus Prime because Optimus Prime would never work with Dr. Eggman. We're going to be clear on that. But Megatron totally would. I mean, they stab each other in the back because they're both villains, but they would work together for a time. Then we have our greedy mana base that has no basic lands because that amused me. Because Dr. Eggman is greedy. So we have the City of Brass, but it's from Final Fantasy 12, I think. It says it right there, but I'd have to lean in. Yep. Or is it 13? Not familiar enough with either of them. Like, I've played 12, but I never memorized the names of the cities. Blood Crypt, Cactus Preserve, Crumbling Necropolis, Exotic Orchard, Forbidden Orchard, Glimmer Void, Grand Coliseum. Yeah, anything that doesn't have its colors. Oh, and then the Brothers War lands because they have giant robots in them. Oh, and then we have the Memorial World that makes robots. Mana Confluence, Master Emerald Shrine, of course. That mountain. Path of Ancestry, even though Eggman is our only human and only scientist. Power Depot. Spire of Industry, Starting Town. We have a lot of... we don't have life gain, but we have a lot of things that eat... oh, we missed this. BRO. Actually, oh. I had caps lock on. I did not miss this, but I think that's one of the... oh, that's the thing that added. There we go. Okay. Aha. We found... oh, now we're down to 99, so now that's weird. Well, there's that. It's usually in the lands where they, so let's go down here. Memorial World. Ulthros, but Ulthros got, oh no, it was this one. There we go. Add back. Aha, aha, aha. So where were we? We were at... We would be here because this one got missed. So this is... its special thing that once you get 12 power on it is... 1 in a black, tap, pay 2 life, sacrifice a creature, draw cards equal to the sacrificed creature's power, activate only as a sorcery. There we go. And then we have this swamp. Then we have this training center. Then we have this one that's blue, tap, add blue for each artifact you control. Watery Grave, Xavier's Lounge, or Xander's Lounge, I'm sorry. Totex Spear, Air Shoes, Mirror Shield, Nurok Stealth Suit because it gives Shroud. Power Sneakers. I put in the stuff that he would steal because he would steal both of the shoes from the other hedgehogs. Champion's Helm, Darksteel Plate, Mithril Coat, Whisper Silk Cloak, Crypto Thrall. Other artifact creatures you control have hexproof. That's nice. Other artifacts you control have hexproof, and then if you control the artifact with the highest mana value or tied, you draw a card. And then Pico Hammer. Then Silent Arbiter because it is a construct. This I probably should put in the version that says that it's a construct, even though I like having the oldest version. Well, you know what? This one is the least expensive, so we'll just switch to that. But no more than one creature can attack, no more than one creature can block. That's just a nice thing to have. Cauldron Complete feels like an evil thing that Eggman would have. The Chaos Emerald, Soul Ring, Enthusiastic Mechanaut. Makes artifacts cheaper, makes artifacts cheaper, makes artifacts cheaper. On the back, adds blue for each artifact you control. The Falcon is a vehicle that when it deals combat damage to a player, you may sacrifice it. When you do, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. And then you can return this from the graveyard to the battlefield by paying 5. It comes into play tap, but you can do it as an instant. Cole Stoke Gear Hulk. It is also a construct, but it says Menace and Death Touch. That is neat. That is an evil combination of abilities. When this creature enters, put target creature card with power 4 or mana value 4 or less from a graveyard, so you can steal from someone else's, onto the battlefield under your control with a finality counter on it. Which means that if it leaves the battlefield again, it goes straight into exile. Although I think it can get bounced to hand. Let's see. Finality counters work on any permanent nudgeless creatures. If a permanent with the finality counter would be put into a grave. Okay, if it goes into a graveyard, it's exiled instead. And if it goes into exile, it's exiled anyway. And then if it goes into your hand, it can go into your hand. Okay, so it's a graveyard specifically. That creature gains Menace, Death Touch, and Haste, but you also have to exile that creature at the end of turn. So it's like a temporary steal. Then we have Relentless X ATM 092. That has Super Menace because you have to block it with 3 creatures. And then you can pay 8 to return it from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. Because in Final Fantasy VIII you have to fight it several times, so it can come back once. And then we have Metalwork Colossus that you can sacrifice 2 artifacts to return it from the graveyard to your hand, but it also has X less to cast, where X is the total mana value of non-creature artifacts you control, which might not matter. Then we have Pongify, Rapid Hybridization, Shattering Spree, Vandal Blast, Go for the Throat, Infernal Grasp, Mizium Mortars, Reality Shift, Delayed Blast Fireball, Aetherize, Aether Spouts, Noxious Gear Hulk, which says when it enters the battlefield, you may destroy another target creature. If a creature is destroyed this way, you gain life equal to its toughness. It's also a construct. That's important. This is a construct. You do kind of want to cast it more than get it for free, but hey, it's an 8/8 trample for free. You just don't get the destroy non-land permanent on cast. But you get destroy non-land permanent on attack, so that's fine. Mech Titan Core I think is hilarious. It's a vehicle, so you can get into play for free, but it also only costs 2, so like it's not the best hit, but it has a special ability. 5. Exile it and 4 other artifact creatures and or vehicles to get the 10/10 Mech Titan construct with flying, vigilance, trample, lifelink, haste. That is all 5 colors. And then when that token leaves the battlefield, you return the 4 other artifacts from exile under their owner's control, just in case you stole stuff. Psi Master Sophothorus creates a Thopter whenever you cast an artifact spell, but you can also sacrifice 2 artifacts and pay 1 and a blue to draw a card. Cyberman Squadron gives your non-legendary artifacts Myriad. Then we have the Egg Hammer again. And then we have Fabricate, because we stole a lot of stuff from the other characters in the Secret Lair. And that's the... Yep, that's the last thing. I like how this deck turned out as well. This may as well just be one of my catchphrases. Is the best version of itself? Hardly. But it's my version of it. So that's it. Miles Tails per hour, as I mentioned at the top. That'll be in a different episode when I go over vehicles. Whatever happens next week is what happens next week, and I will see you then.